Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to Season 2 of the Hormone P.U.Z.Z.L.E Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kayla Smith, CEO of the Hormone P.U.Z.L.E Society, a women's health hub for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching, creator of the Hormone P.U.Z.L.E method, an infertility warrior, two-time boy mom, and women's health expert. This podcast is for women struggling with infertility, painful periods, terrible PMS, or really just any symptom of hormone imbalance that they are ready to eliminate for good. Tune in weekly as we interview amazing experts in the fields of women's health, breaking down those hormone walls, nerding out on nutrition, and having way too much fun. Whether you're beginning your journey or you've been struggling for years, we're going to finally help you put those pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so that you can get pregnant and eliminate those pesky symptoms for good. Are you ready? This season is packed with even more expert guests sharing groundbreaking knowledge, giving you that jolt of energy that you so desperately need, sending you lots of virtual hugs, and inspiring you to take your fertility into your own hands and make that baby. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now let's get started on your road to transformation. Stephanie Thibodeau is a certified life and wellness coach and the founder of Essential Soul Coaching. She helps empower women to regain the confidence they desire and love their bodies. She helps them lose weight, reduce stress, and get the best sleep ever. After 24 years in the car business, she chose to pursue her passion to help women heal the emotional trauma they have suffered to create the life that they love. Let's welcome Stephanie to the show. Hey, Stephanie, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Kayla. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here.
Yes, me too. So tell us a little bit more about you, who you are and what you do.
So my name is Stephanie Thibodeau, and I am the founder and CEO of Essential Soul Coaching. I live in Florida with my life partner of the last 15 years. So prior to being in health and wellness, I was in the car business, and I lived a high-stress life. We have 3 girls, so I have no fear anymore of anything. But I decided to get into health and wellness after my own weight loss journey. So I was in a terrible marriage. I'm a survivor of domestic abuse. Thank you. And it took me a long time to understand that I could be happy with my body and still work on it at the same time. So in 2010, I went on a weight loss journey and lost 80 pounds.
Wow.
And really gained a ton of confidence. I actually started telling my story about my abuse and the situation that I was in, because up until that point, I never spoke about it.
Yeah.
And that was when I decided that I had a lot of work to do, and there were so many women that I could help gain their confidence back, or even get the confidence they've always wanted and lose the weight, reduce the stress, and get the best sleep ever.
I love that. And I love your story. So a little background on me. My husband is in the car business, so I know that stress. Oh my goodness. He's been in it for 12 years, and it can take a toll on you. So great job learning, realizing that and kind of moving away from that and working in your passion. So I love that.
Thank you.
Yes. And we talk about fertility a lot on the show. This is the Hormone P.U.Z.L.E Podcast, and I know you work with trauma. And so talk to me a little about that. I hear that fertility and going through infertility can almost be seen as trauma. So talk to us a little bit more about that, how somebody kind of in that season can maybe come out of it less traumatized.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad you asked. And I love your podcast, by the way. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Yeah. So what I found out many years ago is that women that go through trauma such as domestic violence or domestic abuse actually suffer with something very similar to PTSD. And now, of course, they've named it battered woman syndrome, which means that, they're not sleeping. They're dealing with a ton of guilt, emotions. Maybe they have children. Personally, in my experience, because I had children at the time that were very small, I had a horrible sense of I wasn't protecting them. So there was a lot of guilt involved. So when I say unpacking, the emotional baggage, literally when you start piling on the fear, the guilt, the unknown, all of these things, what happens is we drag around all of this excess baggage and it's extra weight, and our body, because it's constantly being stressed, cannot perform all of the functions that it's designed to do. And fertility is one of them. Digestion is another. Sleep becomes, hit or miss. And then now you're walking around and you're completely exhausted. You're not assimilating nutrients from the food that you're eating. Your body it's not functioning the way it normally does. So obviously weight loss, weight gain, fertility comes into play because the hormone imbalance is just so off the charts. You don't know whether you're coming or going. So I love to help women figure out, well, a lot of them don't even realize that that's what's causing some of the problems they have, that if they could just get out of their head all of these thoughts and these fears and start working on that first, the rest of it, literally like puzzle pieces, start to fall into place.
Wow, I love it.
Makes sense.
It does make perfect sense. And I love that you talk about that, how this trauma can be like excess weight in your body. That's such a cool way to kind of look at it. And I completely agree. It makes so much sense to me. And so how would you suggest people start to unpack some of this emotional baggage to kind of let it go so that they can lose the weight, so they can boost their fertility?
Yes, this is where things get really down and dirty. It gets very vulnerable, but allowing those feelings to come out are so important. You really need to, and when I work with my clients and my girls, I have them journal a lot. I give them journal prompts because you're totally allowed to freak out on paper. It's
right.
So much easier to freak out on paper than it is to have a meltdown at work or at the drive-through, the bank, or when your kids are with you in the grocery store and you just can't take another, I want one of these moments. So I really do ask my girls to spend time journaling the thoughts. It doesn't have to be right. It doesn't even have to be full sentences, but starting to get to the core of some of those feelings and being okay with sharing that. Most women I have found, especially if they've had some sort of domestic trauma, they don't like to talk about it because there's a lot of shame involved. So all of a sudden now they're ashamed that they let themselves get in this situation. Well, you don't let yourself get in a situation. It just evolves. And now there's shame and there's guilt and there's fear. And these are the three most powerful emotions. So when I talk to them about what they're afraid of or what has them feeling that shame, they start to open up and release. And when that conversation starts to flow, you can almost hear it in their voice. That when they start to let go of some of that fear and shame and guilt, it's like this weight has been lifted. And now they're not dragging around all of these extra emotions that are not serving them. So now the weight actually starts to come off without nearly working half as hard because they've just been using that weight as a protection against all of these feelings and allowing that to just come out and go to the paper. We can deal with it later, but if we put it on the paper, then we can make sense of it. Then we can start to unpack all of those feelings and talk about them at a pace that she's comfortable with.
I love that. And I am a big fan of journaling. I teach all my clients, we have to journal. Let's write down these feelings. Let's get it out of our head and onto paper. So I
Yeah.
love that you talk about that. Oh, so tell us some tips on if somebody is currently like in trauma, they're dealing with a domestic abuse relationship, they're dealing with some sort of trauma that they want to let go of, other than journaling. I know we just talked about that, but is there any kind of concrete things that they could do like right now to help with that?
Yes. First of all, make sure you're safe. Whether it's you or a family member or a friend, getting them to a safe location is key. And I know that that sounds kind of extreme if it's not an abuse situation, but sometimes even in a relationship where it's not, maybe it's a little toxic, being in a safe space is super important. Allowing yourself to breathe, even if you can sit for 10 minutes, and sometimes we don't have 10 minutes, sometimes we have 5, taking some slow, long, deep breaths and allowing yourself to just be in the moment. I do a lot of yoga. So just breathing sometimes is all we really can do to stop the spinning. And then I also encourage my clients to use their essential oils. There's a couple of oils in the aromatherapy blend or in the emotional therapy group. They call them Forgive, Console. And these are the oils that you roll them over your heart, do some nice deep breathing. Maybe you just need to get outside and take a walk. Maybe you need to call a friend, write it down, obviously.
Yes.
But allowing yourself to just be for a couple of minutes in a quiet, safe space. And the world can wait. Like everything else can wait for 5 or 10 minutes. But being able to just take a moment to collect yourself. And then for me, one of my best stress relievers is get as close to the ocean as possible.
Yes.
But if I can't, I can get outside, go for a walk, and just breathe in some fresh air, just look around and see what's around me that can help me. So I truly believe that we have the power within us to just relax for a couple of minutes.
I love that. And I 100% agree. I talk all the time about, fertility is a very do. What can I do? What can I eat? What can I do? I need to go to the doctor. I need to do this. But let's just be. Let's sit in our feminine energy and just be and just take a breath, like you said. And if that's near the ocean, that's even better. So I love it.
The sound of the waves is so relaxing. The smell of the salt air, it's absolutely therapeutic. So
I agree.
Everybody has that happy space. So
perfect. And so let's talk about essential oils. Tell me a little bit more. And I'm sure everybody knows, but for those who don't, what are essential oils and how can they help us, especially in our infertility journey?
Yes. So essential oils are compounds derived from plants. So they're a volatile compound, which means they go from a liquid to a gas very quickly. So they work really well in diffusers, but there are several oils that we can use in an application on different parts of your body to help different systems function better. They just offer more support. And because essential oils bypass your digestive system, they go right into the bloodstream. So an oil can penetrate a cell because of the oily membrane, whereas a lot of water-based medicines cannot. So for cases like fertility, an oil like maybe clary sage, we have a blend called clary calm. It can be applied topically around the belly and over the lower part of the belly and during your periods, which can help with really bad cramps. We have pain relieving oils like our deep blue blend, which can be rolled on your lower back. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes when that time comes, my lower back has definitely shown itself to me that, hey, there's some strain there, there's some soreness. So I'd like to take a little gentler. I love to do an Epsom salt bath with some serenity oil or lavender to just relax before bedtime. And I use my oils all day long. So if I've got oil in my diffuser now, I've applied oils topically, I take them internally. So, I vetted my company very carefully to make sure that they are the safest practice that I can have. And my clients have seen amazing success with reducing their stress levels on a daily basis.
I love that. And I love my oils. I'm the same way. I have it diffused. I take it internally. I, roll on my On Guard like all day long. It's like oils everywhere. So.
Especially now when we want to keep our immune system strong, they're a great way to do that. And a healthy gut just means everything else is going to start working well also.
Exactly. So tell me about sleep. What are some oils for sleep?
My favorite combination is lavender and bergamot, but I've been working a little bit with wild orange and clary sage. Okay. So these two are interesting because, as I'm sure you're aware, sleep is more than just the minutes we spend on our pillow. Mm-hmm. Sleep is a 24-hour cycle. So our bodies want to be alert and awake during the day so that we're tired and restful at night. So I find that using different oils throughout the day can actually help my sleep pattern at night. So I love to use citrus oils in the morning and the afternoon, and then maybe combine them with what we would normally consider like a bedtime oil. So clary sage is an amazing oil that really does help us get a feeling and a sense of calm, but it can also stimulate our inner organs and our reproductive system so that it can help with the hormone balance. So I love to pair those two together in my evening routine. So it's a brand new one I've just started trying, but it has been awesome. Kind of helps with those mood swings when things start to get a little frustrating. Obviously, during this pandemic, things have been different than we've ever experienced. So sleep has normally been an easy thing for me to accomplish, but there's been some times that it's been hard. So I find getting the screens off early, making my bedroom very quiet and relaxing. I love to listen to guided meditations at night. So I'll turn my diffuser on. I'll start a meditation. I drink some water and I just spend a few minutes. Sometimes I will journal a bit before bed if there's something weighing on my mind, just to get it out. I don't want to go to sleep with those thoughts in my head. But I find also that creating a bedtime routine is so important. Like, even if I don't have to get up early the next morning, I still like to go to bed at the same time, still get up at the same time. I have plenty to do, so I can definitely fill my time. But I find I actually get more sleep when I plan ahead and know that I'm going to go to bed at a certain time and I'm going to get up at the same time the next day.
I love that. You're speaking my language, sister, because that is me. I am always talking about a solid bedroom routine, and this will teach your body like, okay, this room is for sleep and sex only, and this I'm getting ready for sleep. So I do, my routine is similar. I turn on my diffuser, I turn on a meditation app, I journal, I sit in my feminine energy, I stretch. So I love that you say that. It's so very important.
Yes, yeah. I should add stretching to my routine because I think it's a great idea.
Right. So I know we talked a little bit earlier about emotional trauma, and I know you were saying how emotional trauma can cause you to hold on to weight and cause you to have baggage. So how does releasing that emotional trauma help you to lose the weight?
Oh, that's such a good question. So when you dive into that space of vulnerability and pain and trauma, it's going to hurt. And there's going to be a lot of emotion attached to it. And for the most part, it's easier for us to just ignore it than it is to actually deal with it or talk about it. And I know personally what happened with me at first was I was so stressed out that I stopped eating. And I lost a lot of weight due to that, but it was in a very unhealthy way. And then once I knew I was in a safe place, and as time went on over the next few years, I actually started to eat to numb the pain. So I packed on a lot of weight. And what happens when we do that is then now we're tired, we're still in pain, but we think it's for another reason. But when we allow ourselves to go to that place where all of that trauma is being stored and we deal with it, we don't need it anymore. So now we don't need that weight as protection. Now we can get to that inner goddess that is a badass woman who can go out and conquer the world. She has a ton of confidence. She knows exactly what she wants, and she knows how to go get it. We all have her inside of us. Sometimes, though, she's just afraid to come out because we're a little bit fearful of what she's going to bring with her.
Right.
So I love to help women get to that place a little at a time. You know, we don't just jump headfirst into the pond without knowing what's on the bottom.
Right.
But allowing us to kind of peel back the layers and deal with it a little at a time, which is exactly how the weight went on. So it's exactly how the weight's going to come off.
Mm-hmm.
And as that weight comes off with every couple of pounds, you're going to see the success. You're going to feel that triumph. You're going to have all those feel-good emotions. And now you're just going to want to do better with the next step. And it doesn't even have to be a long process. I like to teach my clients that it literally can happen with the very next meal. It can happen with the very next thought. It doesn't have to be a whole week's worth of meals planned out on Sunday. What's going to happen for the rest of today? Right. And start small and build up to that bigger jump.
I love that. And I always talk about that as well. Like, you know, what's one thing that you can do today that's going to move that needle? I'm not telling you to change your entire life. Let's just make this next choice the best possible choice. And so I love that you say that. That's amazing.
Exactly.
So how do you think hormones ties into all of this with trauma and with fertility? And, you know, is there a correlation there?
Definitely. When your body is stressed, your cortisol level is way up. And what happens when your cortisol level is way up, your adrenaline is usually pretty high as well. So then what happens, you end up in adrenal fatigue. So now your melatonin, your serotonin, your estrogen, your phytoestrogen, your testosterone, everything else is just out of whack. So your body is getting all of these mixed signals, thinking, oh my goodness, we're in danger. And your brain only wants to protect you. So your brain kind of doesn't know the difference between stress at work and, you know, mortal stress. So it still sends out the serotonin or the cortisol thinking, oh, we need to get out because there's danger. And so it's turning off some of the other hormones. And that's where we end up with our belly fat. And our belly fat starts to hinder other organs. And I know that this ties into fertility because with high cortisol levels, our sex hormones are like turned off. Because what happens? We're not feeling intimate. We don't want to have that intimate time with our partners. We don't feel sexy. We don't feel pretty. If we're carrying a little extra baggage, now we're worried about that too. So it just sends everything into this out of control roller coaster.
And I completely agree. You know, we always talk about that on the show, how your body takes from any other process in order to make your stress hormones, because that's what keeps you alive. And you're not going to make a baby if you're fearful that you're going to die. So it's very important to keep that stress under control. So yes, I completely agree with all of that. So talk to me a little more about your programs. How do people work with you and where can we find you?
So I have a couple of options. I'm getting ready to relaunch my 30-day online group coaching program, and it's called Weight Loss Over 40, Why What Was Working in Your 20s No Longer Does. And I also have a 90-day program, which is a really deep dive and intensive into what your habits are, helping you kind of release the trauma, deal with the emotions, and you're going to lose weight, you're going to reduce the stress, and you're going to sleep so good. So I am at essentialsoulcoaching.com, and I'm also on Instagram and Facebook at Essential Soul Coach on both platforms.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much. I could talk to you all day. You're amazing.
Well, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to share with you. This is amazing. I love your podcast. I'm a big fan.
Thank you. And so do you have any final thoughts before we end today?
Yes. If you are in a relationship that is not serving you, it is okay to get out. It's totally okay to self-preserve. I think that every woman out there should have the strength and confidence to look in the mirror and love the girl she sees. And I know that there are women out there that are going to have babies because of what they've learned from you. And they are going to raise those babies to be amazing humans. And we are just the beginning of an awesome world out there.
Yes, I love it. So thank you so much again. It's truly an honor to talk to you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next show. Bye. Hey, hang on just 1 second before you go. I want to make sure that you are aware of all of the amazing free resources that I have for you on my website at CoachKayla.com. From a fertility meal plan, a cycle syncing quick start guide, a holistic healing cookbook, as well as master classes, blog posts by me and some amazing experts in the fields of fertility, hormones, and nutrition. So many wonderful resources that will help you on your journey. And I wish there had been something like this when I was going through my 2 years of infertility, but there just wasn't. And so that's why I decided to create all of this for you. So make sure that you go and check it out and you take advantage of this plethora of support that I have provided for you. And spoiler alert, these were some of the same tricks and the same foods that I used to get myself pregnant, not once, but twice, even after my doctors said that I couldn't. So I know that these things work. Make sure you take advantage of that. And I cannot wait for you to be my next success story. So thanks, love. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKayla.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.